The Boston Celtics are playing with fire. After yet another flame-out in the second round, the illusion of stability in Boston is just that, an illusion. Behind closed doors, the front office isn't regrouping quietly, they're scrambling to prevent a financial implosion. With the NBA's new CBA acting like a vice grip around luxury spending teams, Boston finds itself cornered, and one of their most shocking potential sacrifices. Kristaps Porziņģis. This isn't about performance, it's about survival. The Celtics are barreling toward the dreaded second apron, a punitive salary threshold that doesn't just fine you, it suffocates your flexibility, nukes trade options, and dismantles the long-term viability of your roster. And with Jason Tatum nursing an Achilles injury and an extension worth over $300 million looming, Brad Stevens can no longer pretend this roster is untouchable. The clock is ticking, loudly. Porziņģis, set to earn over $30 million next season, is no longer a luxury. He's a liability Boston simply cannot afford. Enter the Utah Jazz, a team not contending this year but stacked with usable assets and ready to play facilitator. A bold 2-for-2 trade idea has surfaced, one that could rip the Celtics out of cap hell and inject desperately needed youth and energy into their aging core. In this scenario, Boston ships out Porziņģis and Derrick White, a tough loss, but a calculated one, and gets back Walker Kessler and Collin Sexton. On paper, it's a swap. In reality, it's a strategic reshaping of Boston's identity. Kessler, 23 years old, isn't just a serviceable big, he's a rim-protecting, rebound-devouring machine, averaging 11.1 points, 12.2 rebounds, and 2.4 assists on a wild 66.3% from the field. He offers everything Boston needs defensively, at just $4.9 million per year. Compared to Porziņģis' brittle frame and hefty contract, Kessler is durability, efficiency, and value, wrapped in one. And then there's Collin Sexton, a lightning bolt disguised as a point guard. His 18.4 points per game, 40.6% shooting from deep, and relentless rim pressure make him a nightmare for second units, and a dream fit next to Tatum and Brown. He's not a system player, he's a system disruptor. He brings chaos, and Boston needs chaos in the half-court more than ever. But this isn't just a talent play, it's a financial masterstroke. Boston goes from paying $50+ million for Porziņģis and White to $24 million combined for Sexton and Kessler. That's not just cap relief, that's roster freedom. It opens doors to mid-season trades, exemptions, and breathing room beneath the brutal second apron. For Utah, it's about sending a message. They aren't here to develop, they're here to compete. Adding Porziņģis and White gives Lauri Markkanen veteran running mates, defensive grit, and offensive firepower. It's a gamble, but one that signals a front office unwilling to sit on draft picks and hypotheticals. Narratively, it's a high-stakes chess match. Boston regains flexibility and injects youth. Utah accelerates its timeline with proven weapons. Both teams walk away with sharper tools, clearer identity, and bigger upside. But make no mistake, this isn't a soft reset. It's a detonation, and it might be exactly what Boston needs before the CBA crushes them under its weight. If Brad Stevens wants to keep his stars, extend his window, and avoid going down as the GM who fumbled a dynasty, he needs to move. Now, could Noah Penda be Boston's next draft steal, or their secret weapon for the post-holiday era? Let's be blunt. The Boston Celtics are staring down the barrel of a financial meltdown, with a tax bill looming larger than some franchise payrolls, and the possibility of losing core pieces like Drew Holiday or watching Al Horford age out of contention. They need one thing badly: a cheap, elite defender who doesn't need the ball, doesn't need plays drawn for him, and still shifts the course of a game. Enter Noah Penda. Most Celtics fans haven't heard his name yet, but NBA front offices have. And if Brad Stevens is serious about threading the impossible needle between contention and cap survival, he might have to gamble on a 20-year-old French wing with an outrageous defensive profile and an upside that could quietly transform Boston's second unit. Penda doesn't put up 30-point games. He doesn't dominate highlight reels. but he strangles opposing offenses with a level of positional fluidity that borders on freakish. Standing 6'8" with a 7.0 wingspan, he combines the lateral quickness of a guard, the instincts of a veteran wing, and the strength to bang inside. He's not just switchable, he's inevitable. And the numbers? Frankly, they're scary. In the French Betclic Elite League this season, Penda obliterated conventional defensive metrics. Per 40 minutes, 1.5, blocks 1.7, steals 8.1, rebounds just 2.9 fouls. No other player in France matched that level of defensive output with that level of control, not even close. The only comps, Andre Robertson and Kavarius Hayes, don't come with his versatility or his motor. Penda lives in isolation coverage. Coaches throw him at the opponent's best scorer every single night, and he eats their rhythm alive. Players shot just 27% against him in isolations this season. Let that sink in. That's not a fluke. That's suffocation. But here's the twist. Penda isn't just a lockdown specialist. He's also one of the league's best transition initiators. From the forward spot, because he's not only crashing the boards, he's pushing the break. He rebounds like a big, runs like a wing, and makes decisions like a point guard. That's not hyperbole. That's film. Imagine a play. He contests a shot, grabs the board, takes 2 dribbles into open court, and fires a laser to the corner for 3. This isn't a dream. It's routine. And it's exactly the kind of secondary creation Boston's second unit has been starving for. Now, let's talk about system fit. Joe Mazzulla's system isn't built around isolation scorers. It thrives on connectors, players who pass, cut, rotate, and keep the gears turning without stalling possession. That's Penda to a T. He ranks in the 70th percentile on off-ball cuts per 40 minutes, and in the 59th percentile in assists among all forwards. In France, he sees the floor, he reads coverages, he reacts in real time. You want Mazzulla ball. This is it, in raw form. There are risks, of course. His jumper is still a work in progress, but here's the catch. It's already improving, steadily. His free throw percentage climbed from 55% to 72% in just 3 years. His three-point shooting rose from 24% to 34% in the same stretch. That kind of leap, combined with elite work ethic, praised by every coach who's touched his development, suggests the shot will get there. And if it does, you're no longer looking at a defensive role player. You're looking at a two-way starter on a contending team. Still not convinced? Let's talk lineup data. Penda ranks in the 66th percentile in plus-minus in France, despite not being a primary scorer. Why? Because teams simply play better when he's on the floor. Defenses tighten, offenses flow, transition chances spike. He doesn't dominate usage, he elevates everyone else's. Now factor in the Celtics' reality. They ranked 24th in opponent turnover rate. They ranked 28th in transition frequency. They're about to lose Holiday or Horford, or both. They have no real budget flexibility to chase two-way wings in free agency. Noah Penda might not just be a draft pick. He might be the only realistic solution to a looming crisis. A player who can cover up weaknesses, enable the stars, and cost pennies on the dollar. In a league obsessed with unicorns, Boston might quietly walk away with one of the most NBA-ready, plug-and-play, multi-positional defenders in the world, hidden in plain sight. Noah Penda isn't a name yet, but he might be the exact kind of name that Celtics fans will scream in 6 months when he gets subbed in to lock down the fourth quarter of a playoff game. The question isn't if he fits, it's how soon Boston will realize they can't afford to let him fall.